And then pause. All right, welcome guys. This is our first episode with Coffee with the Realtor.
Whoop, whoop.
I am joined here with the great realtor Lydia. My name is Dan. So just to give you an idea of what we're going to do here, we're going to talk about a lot of headlines, myths, things that misconceptions that people have out there.
There's a lot.
There's definitely a lot. And then, the topic will be sellers. Why would you even want to meet with a great realtor like Lydia or myself? And we'll just start diving into that topic.
For sure.
All right. So I think the first one that I want to talk about that I read on Realtor.com was that a lot of sellers are waiting for home prices to go even higher.
Interesting method.
Why do you think that that's a bad idea as far as, with inflation, interest rates?
Sure.
Why do you think that that's a bad idea?
So here's the thing. The interest rates that we've seen the last couple years were kept artificially low. Those were not normal interest rates. Everybody's, I've heard even buyers on the flip side saying, I want to wait for interest rates to come down. And the truth of the matter is those interest rates were kept very low. So because of those low interest rates, buyer demand just skyrocketed, right?
Right.
So then you had people paying less interest but way overpaying on home price. And so it's still a hot market, and there's still, we only have a month and a half of inventory.
Yeah, I lost out on an offer. I had a client offer $20,000 over, and we still lost out.
Yeah.
Because equity is at an all-time high. People are cashing in, they're selling their homes, and just being able to outright offer cash. That's another topic for another day, but just to give you an idea of what it has been like out there.
So bottom line, market's hot, and we have less inventory and high buyer demand. So prices are still high. They're still high.
Yep.
Are they as high as they were in 2020? Maybe not. 2021? Maybe not. But you don't know what the market's going to do. It could be that home prices are going to fall more. So the flip side of that is, do you want to take the risk? So really, what you need to be assessing when you come to sell is, why are you selling? Do you need to move in the next couple years? Do you want to switch? Do you have kids that are getting ready to go to school and you want to be in a different school district? Is it your parents' property and they need to get rid of it? That on that end of things, it's like, okay, you've got to, if you try to time the market, you're going to fail every time.
Right.
So you need to really come down to, what is your motivation to sell? Is it just about money? If it's just about money, this might be the best time in the next few years.
Absolutely.
But if there's other issues, obviously you don't if you're like, I can wait another 5 years, then wait another 5 years if you want to. If you want to take that risk, it's really up to you and what's important to you.
So what I hear you saying is, make real estate work for your plan. Don't make your plan work for real estate.
Exactly.
That's a really, really, really good point there. You want to be able to live your life. You have real estate goals, and that's why you have us. You have realtors that are going to help you navigate, break through the misconceptions, and make real estate work for your plans.
Right. And another thing is, this is our job. We're in this market every day. We are working with buyers. We are working with sellers. We're talking to people who are selling on their own, or trying to sell on their own. And the thing of it is, like, can you sell yourself, Dan, if you don't have a real estate license? Could you do it?
I could. Wouldn't know what I'd be doing, but I think, you could.
Yeah. I was on the phone with a for sale by owner, and just a couple days ago, and I said, just curious why you decided to list by yourself. I'm sure that there's a good reason. I've talked to people who are like, I've talked to for sale by owners, and they're like, oh, I got ripped off by a real estate agent. I'm like, man, that stinks, and I'm sorry to hear that. So I can understand, but when I asked him, he said, it's a caveman's market. I said, a caveman's market? Like, what is that? I've never heard of that term before. And he said, oh, it's so easy, a caveman could do it. interesting point. I asked him if I could offer any comps for him. He said, nah, they're easy enough to find. But here's the thing about comps. As realtors, we know what to look for in those comparables. You know, you might say, I might say, hey, my house in Augusta Township could go for 160, 170. Take that same house, put it in a different town, and it's going to be a totally different price. So you have to know what areas you're working in. You have to know what your house has to offer. There's just a whole lot that goes into it.
So that's actually a good segue. We'll start getting into, well, why even hire a realtor? Why hire us? You know?
Yeah. Dan, don't you know, realtors, they're just out to make a buck.
Right, yeah. So one thing that I want to start diving into just a little bit, I mean, we could go on and on, the 6 tax facts.
For sure.
You know, so it's just a real quick, you know, we're going to go through 6 of them. Again, there's way more, but for the sake of time, fact number 1, if you owned and lived in your home for 2 to 5 years prior to selling it, you can generally exclude up to $250,000 in gain from your income, meaning you don't get taxed on that.
Yeah.
Now, we would provide that information for you. That is not common knowledge. What about number 2?
Well, the thing of it is with that, though, you're not eligible for this exclusion if you sold another principal residence, meaning your first residence, not like a vacation home, within the past 2 years and excluded that allowable gain from your income.
That sounds very legal. Now, do you think just because somebody doesn't hire a realtor, they're exempt from that legal information? Or being or priority?
I mean, you've got to know this stuff. And
Right.
and here's the thing. There are realtors out there who won't share any of this information with you. Maybe they're just busy. Maybe they don't have these resources, right? That's why it's important to hire a good realtor. That's why it's important to talk to somebody who knows what they're doing. And listen, as realtors, we can't offer you legal advice, but we can offer you what we know. And so if you have questions on stuff like this, you know,
Access to real estate lawyers, there is a difference.
Yep.
Not all lawyers are
created equal.
Exactly. So yes, you know, when it starts getting into the legality, we do know enough, but once that starts getting outside of our wheelhouse, we have access to professionals that are bar none, you know, above and beyond your typical lawyer.
Sure. And see, the thing of it is, as realtors, a lot of what we do is we just pull everything together for you. So, I mean, you need an appraisal done. We get the appraisal done. You know, hey, here's some people that we've used for appraisals. We need a home inspection done. Here's people we've used for home inspections. And it goes, again, with all this with these legal things, we can offer you the information that we have. We can't offer you legal advice, but we can show you what we have. And we can refer you out to a good real estate lawyer. I mean, you know, if you just go on Google search, you can find a lot of different people and it can be super overwhelming. But if you have somebody, it's like, oh, I've worked with this person, or somebody in our office has worked with this person and they're good and they're upright, why not use that?
So working with a realtor seems like it saves you time as well. So not only are we taking care of you legally, which you have to meet regardless whether you use us or not, and you have a busy life. You've got family, you've got work. We're doing that while you're at work. We're doing that while you're on vacation. We're taking care of that. It saves you a ton of time.
For sure.
So I know for the 6 facts, we kind of touched on it for number 3. You know, if you can exclude all your gains from the sale, you know, you won't have to claim it on your tax return. We kind of touched on that.
That's nifty.
Yeah. So, I mean, $250,000, that's Uncle Sam doesn't get to touch.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go to 4. If you have a gain on your principal residence that exceeds the allowable deduction, it is taxable. So
what does that mean?
If you sell, let's say you own your home outright and you sell your home for $300,000, that means $50,000 of that is taxable.
But not the whole $300,000.
Correct. Again, that's something that you utilize us for to make sure that you are walking away with the most money.
For sure.
Bar none. What about number 5?
You can't deduct a loss from the sale of your primary residence. So you buy the house, right, and you bought it and you overpaid for it. Oh, now property values are sinking. Well, you can't deduct that loss.
So would you say it's important that you hire a realtor to maximize that price, to leverage those other offers against each other,
Yeah.
marketing, getting you the max value? Because I don't know about you, but I don't like losing out on money.
No, neither do I. And honestly, the thing of it is, if you are working with a good realtor, again, are there people out there, are there realtors out there who are going to try to take advantage of you? Unfortunately, yes. But if you're working with a realtor who has your best interest at heart, they are going to look at something and they're going to insist you get an appraisal. And they're going to insist that you get an inspection. They're going to insist that you follow through with these things because they don't want you to overpay. We don't want you to overpay for a house and take a loss on this. So again, that's why it's important to make sure, and if you're working on your own, I mean, if you get a loss and you didn't hire a realtor, you just went and did, and hey, you know what, to each their own. Everybody, that's your decision, but this is kind of some of the risk that you run yourself into.
Yeah, you bring up a good point, and not all realtors are the same. We get it. Some people have a bad taste in their mouth. But here at Caldwell Banker Professionals, we're not going to cut corners. We're going to do it right, and we're going to make sure that, again, your net, what you get to walk away with when selling your home, is the absolute top dollar.
Yep, for sure.
So that pushes us to number 6 for the tax facts. Special rules may apply when you sell a home for which you've received for the first time home buyer credit.
Uh-oh.
Home buyer credit. So let's say you moved into a home, you used the first time home buyer credit. There's an actual time limitation in which you have to live in the home for so long before you have to pay that back.
Mm-hmm. But how do you know that?
Exactly. And that's something that both Lydia, myself, and the other realtors here at Caldwell Banker Professionals are going to be able to dig into for you.
Absolutely. And here's the other thing. If you bring this up to your realtor and they're like, I don't know, and they don't even try to research it for you, what are you doing working with them? You want to have somebody who's going to do, I don't know everything. Dan, you know everything, don't you?
Well, I mean, checks in the mail. Yes, I do.
No, but even if you go to somebody and if you go to a realtor and you ask them and they're like, well, how are they responding to you? Is your realtor, if you have a good realtor, even if they don't know, they are going to find out for you. They're going to do the research. Again, this is our job. If we're slacking, fire us.
Yep. On the spot.
You need to have a good realtor who is in your corner, who is going to do right by you.
So we've already identified why working with a realtor: legal, time, price. What about certificate of occupancy?
What's that?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Certificate of occupancy is an inspection that the city does on your home to make sure that it is up to code, and you have to have that completed before you can move in.
Yep.
Now, as realtors, we have access to that. We can look that up to find out what you're walking into. Could it be as simple as, swap out some plugs, fix the drip in the sink, whatever the case may be, crack in the, in the sidewalk. We make sure you have all the facts, all the information to make sure you can move into that home.
And as a listing agent, we're going to do our research beforehand and say, okay, you're in such and such city. This requires a certificate of occupancy. What are their guidelines? And again, this is our job. We can go in and find out what that is. So when we walk into the listing appointment with you, we can say, how are these plugs? Do you know? This is close to a sink. And if an FHA inspector comes through here and there's no GFI, well, you got to get that fixed. So we're going to know a little bit of that ahead of time. And again, we're human. We don't know everything, but we can do our research and we can help you out.
So would you say we have access to professionals that would be able to come in?
Big time. We have to. Real estate is all about our relationships with people. We, as realtors, we want to make sure we have a good relationship with you as the client, but we also have good business relationships with others, with mortgage lenders, with appraisers, with inspectors. with, you fill in the blank, legal help, right? That's our job. Our job is to pull all of these people together to help you get you to the closing table for the best value that you can get.
Now, what does it cost? So I want to sell a home.
Sure.
And I want everybody to know that I'm selling the home, and you're going to do it for me. What does that cost me? Is that going to cost me anything besides, I know you have a commission, but I mean, do you do any marketing?
Oh, well, that's all included in the commission.
Oh, it's included in the commission.
So as a seller, you're paying 6%. Okay, now 3% of that is going to go to the listing agent, us, and 3% of that is going to go to the buyer's agent. They've worked hard too, man. They've been taking their clients all over the place, right? So, and then they have to put in the offer. They have to negotiate that. So it's only fair that they get 3%. Now, why should we get 3%? Well, we're going to do a social media marketing campaign. We are going to make sure that your house has professional pictures done, at least in this office.
Right, yes. No iPhone
office.
Pictures, please.
Right? Oh, man. And again, not all realtors are created equal. There are some realtors who will just come in there with their cell phone and take their pictures. And I'll be honest with you, when I'm looking for a house for my buyer, pictures make a huge difference. If I'm looking at a house and all of a sudden I see the realtor in the mirror taking a picture of the bathroom, I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? So pictures can make a big difference. Now, you don't have to pay for the pictures. We are paying for professional home photography up front for you. This is not an expense that you're going to have. So yeah, we're going to make sure you get good quality pictures. We're going to make sure we do a social media marketing campaign.
Staging, staging is definitely a big part of it.
Thing.
You can have professional pictures, but believe it or not, there are professional stagers that will come in and make your home as appealing as possible.
Yep.
And as Lydia stated, that makes a difference as well.
See, and here's the other thing. Our office, Coldwell Banker Professionals, we have 18 other sister offices, right? So what we do is we have the tools in the database where when we list your home and we put that out, that is also getting circulated within our 18 other offices. Every agent from all of those offices is going to be pushing out your property that is up for sale. They're going to be pushing it out all over the state. So not only are you getting marketing right here in your local hometown, but you're getting marketing all over the state of Michigan.
Yep, and I know there are sellers out there that they could care less about digital marketing. Okay, well, another thing that we do when your home goes up for sale, open houses.
For sure.
Open houses are huge. The neighbors are coming in, looking at your home, knowing it's for sale. We're walking up and down the street, handing out our business cards saying, hey, your neighbor has a home for sale. Do you know anybody that's interested?
And even information on what's going on in your area. Is there a down payment assistance program that you could be part of? You don't know. But see, as we go out and we let people know about this open house, we're giving out that information. We're giving out information about the house. We're inviting the neighbors to come take a look. Now, if you're a seller and you're like, I don't want people coming through my house, we're absolutely going to respect that. But if you say, I want to get my house sold as quickly as possible, I don't care, then we're going to hold open houses and let people come through and take a look.
So, you guys have heard our list. Again, legal, time, price, paperwork, access to buyers and marketing. I think our last one that we really want to touch on is, okay, Lydia, you sold my home. Am I ever going to hear from you again?
Oh, absolutely, you're going to be hearing from me again. See, here's the thing. In our office, Coldwell Banker Professionals, we care, again, about the relationship. The way that we see it is, as your realtor, we want to take care of you not just because you're our client, but because we hope that by the end of our transaction, you'll really have kind of become a friend. Now, I'm not going to get mushy-gushy here, right? But we're going to check in on you. Do you need anything? Do you need, maybe after the close, you're like, oh, shoot, I got to move all of my stuff out now. We can help you find a mover. And we can help you after the fact. We're going to provide you with information, tax information, like sort of what we shared here, but specific to you and your home. And we're going to be checking in because, again, you're not just our clients. By the end of the transaction, we want you to be part of our our friend group, part of our as you would put it, family.
So you guys know that you can sell on your own,
For sure.
but you're not going to get the benefits that we just went over. If you guys have any questions, and the light just went out.
Blooper reel.
Right?
We didn't move enough. Cut. No. There it is.
All right. So we're going to have to stitch that one together.
That'll be all right. It's out anyway.
Yes. So you guys know the benefits of working with a realtor. Again, you can definitely sell yourself.
For sure.
But if you have any questions, we are here. We're available. Again, my name is Dan. 313-282-6861.
734-645-7448.
All right. Well,
Give us a call.
Absolutely.
Check us out on social media. Do you have social media, Dan?
You know what? I do.
Caveman Market, but we can still do social media.
Again, first episode.
Yeah.
I
in
think
the books.
in the books. Look for more. We're definitely not done. Happy selling. Give us a call. We'll take care of you.
Toodles.